What's up mga ka-Sports Plus? Are you ready to elevate your sports experience? Dive into the world of live sports like never before with Sports Plus PH. Whether you're a fan of the game or just love the thrill of the action, we've got you covered. Register now at sportsplus.ph. Magandang gabi sa inyong lahat. This is Javi Palanya, and joining me tonight are our two panelists. On my left is Mr. Juan Banal, and on my right side is Coach Willie Miller.
Yes naman.
Juan, kamusta ang week mo so far?
Actually, I was very excited to have pinag-uusapan natin before this episode kung anong pag-uusapan. Mainit-init yung Converge na topic eh. Siyempre, pagsamantalahan na natin na nandito para mapiga natin yung mga katotohanan at behind the scenes, di ba?
Coach Willie, kamusta so far ang week mo?
Isang malungkot at saka masaya na week. No?
Bakit naman malungkot? Obviously, dahil natalo nga kayo sa San Miguel. Pero bakit masaya bigla?
Masaya tayo dahil nakaabot kami ng playoffs and medyo bumilis yung tibok ng puso ng San Miguel.
Tama yan. Tingnan natin ang mga pag-uusapan natin ngayon for this edition of SPNation. First, of course, dahil nga nandito si Coach Willie, magandang pag-uusapan, is Converge, a team of the future in the PBA. Next up, basketball fantasy muna tayo ng konti. Yung top 2 teams ba ng MPBL, which are the San Juan Knights and the Pampanga Giant Lanterns, will they be able to beat the bottom 2 teams in the PBA, which is Terra Firma and Phoenix, who both finished at
Hindi na kami yan.
Yun na nga.
Hindi na nila kami kaya.
And for our very last topic, is Bronny NBA ready? That's LeBron James Jr. Of course, he was drafted by the LA Lakers, so yan ang ating huling topic. So let's get right into it, guys. Pag-usapan na natin ang ating unang topic. Converge, is it a team of the future in the PBA? So in the last conference, Converge finished dead last. They were 3-19, Coach, alam mo yan. But this season, this conference, they finished third in Group A behind TNT and Meralco, which TNT was 8-2, Meralco was 7-3, and they finished better than Magnolia, Northport, and Terra Firma. Juan, I'll be asking you first. Siyempre, alam ko mas mainit yung mga sasabihin ni Coach Willie. Juan, I'll ask you first. Yung mga numbers nila, they improved a lot on a lot of different departments in this conference. Plus 6.5 in points per game, minus 3.2 in points allowed, so that's defense, plus 5.3 in rebounds, plus 2.5 in assists, plus 10.5 in points inside the paint, and plus 3.9 in fast break points. How do you feel about this statement that Converge might be a team of the future in the PBA?
Siyempre, nandito si Coach Willie. Kailangan sabihin ko, di ba? Hindi, pero to be honest, I think for a lot of reasons that only the stats can prove. Meaning, yung stat sheet kasi na sinasabi mo kanina, Javi, lahat yan evidence lang yan eh. Di ba? Yeah. Of what really happened behind the scenes. And for me, the biggest thing, ako nga, nag-uusap kami paminsan ni Coach Willie pag tinatanong ko, kamusta Converge? Pag sinabi ko sinong go-to guy ngayon, I was really blown away na si Stockton ang go-to guy. Kumbaga, pagdiinan, kailangan mo ng puntos, kailangan mo ng franchise player. How the heck did that happen?
Did you expect actually that Alex Stockton would even get to this situation?
Because I've seen him play in collegiate level. I've seen him move up the ranks also. And I've never seen, he used to be like a facilitator. He's a zero offense.
It's somehow like a defensive stopper. He usually would be the guy to guard the best perimeter player of the opposing team.
You would have never thought. Ako, personally, again, with all due respect, hindi ko naisip na ang katulad ni Stockton, ang magiging, nung tinanong ko si Coach Willie, sabi niya, si Alex Stockton, ang namin, Sabi ko, seryoso?
Yeah.
So talaga? And so, I don't know kung malaki ang impluensya mo doon. Kasi, pero for me, ang laking bagay. Kasi si Arana, alam mo na
number 1 big to.
Mula pick pa lang, alam mo na mataas na expectation. Sinabi nila na pantapat kay Junmar, mas may footwork yan, whatever you. Diba? So, isa yun, malaking bagay. Inabangan yan, syempre, previous coaching staff, mga before that, nung binubutong Converge na team, mataas na expectation coming into the league. Diba? Nung binili nila yung franchise and they took over, mataas yung expectation. They had a coaching staff that we felt like, baka yan yung kailangan na coach para sa ganitong koponan. But then now, we have Coach Charles and Coach Raiko in the leading the team, obviously with keeping the main core na coaching staff. I think now, when you ask the question kung sila ba yung team of the future, with the way things are headed, I mean, come on, kakalabas lang nila ng series against San Miguel.
Where they were almost swept and then went on to win 2 straight games and forced it
naman.
into a game 5.
You don't get to do that to a team that has an 8-time MVP. You can't with
And a lot of big-time names at that.
you
Sobra,
cannot just do that, 'di ba? But nagawa nyo.
Yeah, and most of the time, it just breaks of the game na kami yung may handle to win the game. And then dahil lack of experience lang, yung may mga mental breakdown.
Pero Coach Will,
mga little
aminin mo man sa hindi, the fact na umabot kayo sa
Iba to
na yung
Iba.
maturity.
Yes, so that's additional
Ganun nangyari.
experience for the players.
Eh Coach, ano yung naging diferensya itong conference na to compared to last conference? Was it the change in the coaching or was it the players development, etc.?
Alam mo, one thing that added up is yung import naman kasi talaga. Di ba? We started up with Scotty Hapson, yung shooter namin. Di ba? So medyo nagkakumpiyansa yung mga players kasi marunong rin pumasa to. Tapos hindi lang magsabay-sabay yung output ng mga locals namin. Tapos dumating yung import naman namin ngayon, which is Jalen. Tapos ito naman, total rebounder, inside player, so ganun din, passer din. So nag-complement talaga yung mga imports namin within our system.
So ano ba, is it medyo safe to assume na iba ang kwento pag all Filipino?
Yun ang
Are we
Oh,
gonna be
yes,
seeing,
naman.
Are we gonna be
In
seeing
terms of the all-Filipino
And-
lineup ng mga ibang teams, do you think that Converge next in the next all-Filipino conference can actually match up and be a top contender once again?
Anong match-up? Kailangan nilang mag-match up sa amin. Hindi. Kasi hindi pa naglalaro si Balti sa
Exactly, Coach.
So
si
yun
Justin
yung isang
Baltazar, the number 1 pick of the recent
additional
PBA
sa amin.
draft.
And ngayon, yung experience ng mga players namin coming from a playoffs against San Miguel. So that's just what yung lacking kasi talaga yung playoffs experience. Na ngayon na naramdaman na nila. Una is before the playoffs, coming into the playoffs pa lang, iba na yung pakiramdam nila kasi first time mangyari to
Yeah.
sa players. And then masaya na kagad lahat.
Ang tanong ko, yung Charles Chu effect, malaking bagay ba yon sa klase ng kuponan na meron kayo? Because we know, si Charles...
pareho rin naman sila ni Aldin na young coach.
Yeah.
No? And pareho to.
Sanay
kasi
sa collegiate pareha.
Sanay sa collegiate pareha. Siguro, malaking help din kay Coach Charles na naka-handle siya na yung teams
Halos puro galing
pataas
college.
Pataas na.
Yun lang ang kulang na pyesa.
Yung
Kumbaga,
kulang talaga
kulang na
is
ano,
yung experience lang. Then pag upo niya, additional na naman yung pag-push niya sa players. Parehong college type pa rin. With the help of Coach Raiko na veterano to. And ang style naman ni Coach Raiko is international coach
yung
naman.
Reeds no? Malaking bagay. Ako naka-attend na ako ng
Reed to.
practice
Si
ni
Mr. Reed to, si-
Coach Raiko. Ng CSB, naka-attend na ako ng practice. And nakita ko, grabe yung IQ na nadadala ng dalawa na nagpapasa nila sa mga players. And if you bring that into a professional level team already, who's young, ang daling ihulma eh. Mas
Yes.
madaling buuin, mas madaling
So super
na
excited
nag-iisip.
yung mga players na they're be able to read na. And parati sa practice namin is sinisigawan sila ni Coach Raiko. Come on, guys!
Pero
Move
Coach,
faster!
other
Because
than-
this is the read. Like
Other
that.
than Alex Stockton.
Ay, nako. Marami tayo niyan.
Do you think that yung pagpasok ni Balti, magiging maganda yung pag-mesh niya dun sa ibang players niyo?
That's additional kasi nag-practice siya sa amin. So, may nakapag-tune up na rin siya. He's still feeling the game lang ng PBA. Medyo iba naman kasi sa atin. Medyo rough tayo ng konti with discipline. So, medyo sumusunod tayo sa lahat. Lahat ng players natin is puro... Para pagdating mo ng PBA, puro veterano, hindi puro bangkad. Takbo lang to.
Agree.
So, kailangan mo na mag-isip.
Agree.
So, ngayon, he's parang adjusting ba? Pero, we all know his capability. He's a scoring big man. He can stretch the...
He can even play the three
defense
spot.
He can play he can defend the 2 to 5 guys. Pero syempre, ayaw namin 'yon kasi mawalan tayo ng roles ng iba. And with our young guys also, hindi natin napapag-usapan pero most of the time si Alex Stockton and si Shawnee Winston yung kumakamada sa
Pero Coach Will, ako isang pang player na blindside ako na feeling ko na resurrect yung career, yung parang, nalabas yung potential, yung Brian Santos.
Brian
for
Santos
me,
to.
For me. Nakita ko naglaro yan sa D-League. And I thought naglaro sa TIP yan under kay Coach Putit,
Yeah,
di ba?
totoo.
And then naglaro rin sa nag-one and done yata sa UAAP yan di ba? Or NCAA, basta naglaro yan. Tapos nung sa PBA, sabi ko parang mawawala to. Kung yung Jory Napoles, hindi nga natin nakita sa... What more, parang I felt like he was another younger version of a Jory Napoles. And then all of a sudden, biglang starter pa dito sa...
With
sa
Coach Alvin pa lang, he became our main shooter na kagad. So, sa style ni Coach Alvin na takbuhan in open basketball na 3 points first, siya fit na doon pa lang kay Coach Alvin
Tapos ang
pa
tangad
lang.
niya, wide na
Ang
wide,
tangad. And
mahaba
now,
na
he's
wide,
playing
diba?
he's playing defense now. Medyo napapagod lang. Pero, di ba kasi, banta niya, import niya yun. Pero, he's still shooting as well as a shooter can shoot. So, sobra talaga.
Coach Willie, maybe one of the last questions I'm gonna ask about this topic. Kamusta yung naging impluensya ni Alex Cabagdot dito sa team ninyo?
Nakikinig yung mga bata natin. And kahit na ang iniisip nila, matanda na si Alec, medyo mabagal na. Pero yung leadership ni Alec, pag yun na yung nagsabi, lahat sumusunod na kasi with his decision making. Medyo siyempre...
Would you agree na siya yung missing piece to tie it all together?
Ang kailangan talaga, ang parating sinasabi namin ni Coach Dan is, we need to get a veteran talaga to hold
Kasi
it.
Coach, ang pinaka-veterano niyo before Alex was kay Rax.
Kay Rax and then Mike Nieto.
Mike Nieto na. 7 years si kay Rax.
ang
And Mike,
kailangan-
4
And
years.
para banggitin mo Mike Nieto na veterano, parang ang masyadong
Bata pa rin, di ba?
Diba?
Yung
Bata
ganun
pa,
kabata yung team namin.
Yeah,
Pero
yeah.
ang batang team is ang super exciting team. Kaya naman, humanda na kayo.
Alright, so I think Juan and Coach Willie, syempre si Coach Willie magsasabi na Converge is definitely a team of the future, and one, do you
I
agree?
agree.
You agree? Alright, kayo mga ka-SPNation, we'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Comment kayo sa ating live stream kung tingin nyo talaga that Converge is a team of the future in the PBA, especially dun sa mga All-Filipino conferences natin na susunod. Alright, let's get down to the next topic. Basketball fantasy muna tayo. Let's see. Let's talk about if the MPBL's top 2 teams, which are the San Juan Knights and the Pampanga Giant Lanterns, both in the Northern Division, can win versus the bottom 2 of the PBA in this conference, which is the Terra Firma Jeep and the Phoenix Fuel Masters. Okay, so let's run down the rosters of the 4 teams. Terra Firma, they have Wami Chongson, Christian Sanhardinger, Stanley Pringle, Kevin Ferrer, Andreas Cahilig, Aldrich Ramos, Brent Paraiso, Carino is there, and then they have Sanggalang, Katapusan, and Mark Donoy will also be joining them. And sa Phoenix naman, Jason Perkins, RJ Hasul, RR Garcia, Tyler Tio, Raul Soyud, Richie Rivero, Sean Manganti, Ato Ular, Larry Muyang, Matthew Daves, JJ Alejandro, Rafi Verano, Ken Toffin, Simon Camacho, and Kai Balungay. Alright, so these are the 2 teams, guys. How do you think they fared in this conference? Bakit pangit, Coach, yung pinerform nila?
Sometimes it's the import. You can't blame everything on the import din naman. Pero
Malaking bagay.
pag hindi match sa sistema nyo or sa group of guys nyo yung import nyo, he can score 50. He's gonna do good. Pero hindi mananalo yung team. Or pag naka-match naman, pero ang kalaban nyo naman ay sobrang lakas talaga, wala tayong magagawa. So, without the import pa lang, yung matchup pa lang, mahirap na. So kami, we're lucky to have made it to the quarterfinals.
Hindi, kasi contrary to what they performed this conference, itong dalawa naman na Terra Firma at Phoenix, hindi naman ganito yung performance nila last
The last one, yeah.
Diba? So kung nung walang import,
Sila naman yung
mabigat sila.
Yeah.
Mabigat sila, di ba? So, I have to agree na yung import factor will play a role dito. So, it's not a real testament talaga dun sa kakayahan ng kuponan, di ba? Pag nung binasa mo yung lineup, loaded din di ba?
Ganda ng lineup So bata and they have vets also.
Yeah, they have vets also.
So ang ano lang siguro, baka nakakuha ng import yung kalaban and hindi, katulad sa amin, hindi lang yung import ang babandayan mo, pati si Junmar na rin.
Pero
So,
yung tanong nga
ganun
natin
kahirap.
dito, Coach Willie and Juan, matatalo ba ng top 2 teams sa MPBL itong bottom 2, yung Terra Firma and Phoenix? Pampanga, obviously, they won the MPBL championship last season on the strength of Justin Baltasar and Enzo Serrano. They also have Archie Concepcion. Jeff Viernes was a new addition this season. MJ Garcia is there, tall point guard. He's around 6 feet, 6'1". And then they have Jamo Egilos, Arvin Santos is also part of that team. Brandon Ramirez, Renz Alcoriza, Kurt Rayson, Roland Santos, Allen Liwag, Matt De Leon, Kevin Santos, Joe Gomez De Llano, and then they have Raymond Benuya, Martin Gozum, among others. This Pampanga team has at least 6 players who are at least 6'6". So mahaba, puro mga athletic. Tapos sa kabila naman, yung San Juan, which is coached by Senator Jinggoy Estrada and Nani Epondolan, their best player is their point guard, Orlan Momar, who is only just 5'6". But they've been playing so well, and they were only one of 2 teams who were able to beat Pampanga in this MPBL season. So they finished the regular season with identical 26-2 records. Their other players are Mike Calisaan, who is 6'4", a shooter, AC Soberano, who is averaging 50% from the outside this season. May Zach Wang pa, who's 6'4", Mike Malonzo, an undersized big at 6'2". Then you have Nico Panganiban, John Galenato. Papa Reynel Hugnatan is there at 47 years old, still performing well para sa San Juan. Tapos by Ron Denison ka, Arvin Gamboa, Ken Villapando, Dexter Maiquez, AJ Miranda, and Marvin Taiwan. Okay, so now that we've already run down the rosters, i-match up muna natin. Okay, ano muna tayo? Pampanga versus Terra Firma.
Hindi, okay, I have to say this for at least para mayroon lang premise yung pinag-uusapan natin. Ako kasi iba pa rin yung lineup ng PBA, 'di ba? Cream of the crop pa rin yan 'di ba? Every player would aspire to get to the PBA, 'di ba? But the beauty right now is that there's an overflow of players. Madami, and I've said this in the previous episodes, madaming gustong pakapasok ng PBA na bata at nagpapa-experience na nasa MPBL. Madami ding meron pang gas sa tank nila, 'di ba? At may ibubuga pa. Na siyempre medyo puno na kasi yung lineup sa PBA na may mga na-bump off na veterans. Na ngayon makikita mo, maybe not even veterans, yung 11th, 12th, 13th month na nasa lineup nila, yun yung makadalasang pupunta ng MPBL na meron pa rin, di ba? Madami kang binanggit sa San Juan at saka sa Pampanga na potentially mapupunta sa PBA. Like Ramirez, probably, Balti's already there, di ba? Enchong Serrano came from the PBA, gave that up. But then also, you have players na meron pa in their tank sa San Juan, di ba? Na Denison is still there, di ba? Nanggani yan. Marquez also came from the PBA. Calisaan also came from the PBA. The fact na yung si Papa Ray nakakapaglaro pa at efficient pa rin, di ba? At meron pa sa
ibig sabihin, iba sa PBA.
So, what I'm saying is there's a good potential fluidity na pwedeng yung MPBL at mag-feed to PBA and vice versa. They can benefit from each other. They don't have to be separate. Kaya naman, for me, I think yung, di ba nung pinag-uusapan natin, ito magandang tong topic, hypothetically, fantasy siya.
Yeah.
Di ba? Hindi naman mangyayari yan or pwede, pero for now, hindi. Di ba? Pero potentially, ang kagandahan kasi, parang bilig kasi yung format di ba?
Yeah,
may B1 at B2 na umaakit yung top 2 ng B2, tas yung bottom 2. Pero para iwasan mo yung bottom 2 sa PBA, para hindi ka bumaba. Diba? Tapos yung dalawa, pag gigiya, makakit mo. Diba?
So we're gonna play yung top teams ng PBA.
Exactly. Diba? And so iwasan, diba? And ako for me, ito yung mga haka-haka na farm team na yan, maiiwasan yan magkakaroon ng ibang implication, di ba? But at the same time, again, with all due respect to the head coaches of San Juan and Pampanga, syempre iba pa rin yung caliber ng mga nag-PBA coach. And for me, talent for talent, Pampanga, I think they have a lot of hidden gems. I believe so. Na pagka nalagay sa kamay ng coach na katulad siguro ni na Raiko na alam mo yun, may di ba, Tim Cone, di ba? Yung mga ganyang coaches, mag-iiba di ba? Na pwedeng ilaban. Pero right now, maybe not yet. But if you hire like a PBA level coach to coach in these teams, potentially, kung gano'n may flow di ba? Pagka nagkaroon ng ganong flow, kung MPBL team ako, mag-hire na ako ng PBA coach kasi pwede umakyat yung team ko sa PBA, di ba? So, I think potentially but not yet.
Yeah, my take naman siguro is depende sa rules, no? If you're gonna play PBA versus MPBL team,
which MPBL versus FIBA rules.
Sa rules ng MPBL, mas lamang yung MPBL. That's mas sanay na yung PBA sa PBA rules. No, medyo suabe to, less yung banggaan, hindi naman less yung contact, mas more kalkulado na referee, hindi na pwedeng nakakasakit na masama, di ba? Hindi na pwedeng puro angal, hindi na pwedeng puro showtime, so yung ganon. Baka may chance manalo yung yung bottom team ng PBA.
Pero kasi,
matalo pala, matalo.
Kaya siya theoretically possible. Kasi yung nakita
Malalakas
natin
din.
sa collegiate, yung Lasal...
Parang kami yun Masama sa loob yung inayupak na yun
Diba?
Hindi, totoo.
Potentially, nakita
So,
natin yung collegiate
meron,
nga
yes.
di ba? So pwedeng mangyari.
Pwedeng
diba?
mangyari, pwedeng talunin.
Pwedeng talunin.
Pero, if yung rules ng PBA ang susundin, malamang tambak ang MPBL team.
Dahil kasi ang PBA, 12-minute quarters, tapos iba rin
So
yung tawagan.
iba yung tawagan, iba yung rules, iba lahat. So hindi ka pwedeng basagulero lang.
Pero Coach Willie and Juan, yung Pampanga, they have Coach Raiko Toroman with them.
Yeah,
which,
yeah.
And boss namin to Siyempre andyan yung boss namin
which
Boss Delta, si Bob Delta.
kinds of put them a little bit ahead. And that's why they've been able to win
Kaya
the championship.
number 1 sila.
Yeah, and that's why they're number 1.
Yes, naman.
Kaya naman, so is this an advantage for them? And do you think nga, kung gusto talaga umangat ng MPBL teams, kailangan talaga nila kumuha, just like what Juan said, kumuha ng PBA level talent coach?
Siguro wag na, bigyan nyo na sa amin si Balti. Di ba? Balti sa amin. Hindi, pero katulad sinasabi ni Juan, tama to. So, kailangan to be able to compete with, hindi ko naman sinasabi na mababa yung caliber ng at least maka-help ka, makakuha ka ng help from
That's right.
ng coaches.
Hindi kasi
from,
isipin mo, meron na tayong mga PB coaches na nandyan
Yeah.
Nandyan si Coach Ariel Van Guardia. Nandyan si Coach Louis Alas.
Yes.
Di ba? I don't know, siguro forgive me if I forget. Pero madami na tayong mga
coaches na galing sa PBA
galing
na.
sa PBA.
Yes.
At alam nila ang kalakaran. If you put them, let's say, on these teams,
na alam mo na maglalaro sa PBA, alam na nila yung style.
Kaya nila.
Yan, gano'n, totoo.
So Coach Willie, agree ka ba doon sa sinasabi ni Juan na yung hypothetical lang na kung
Oo, fantasy to,
na gagawing B1 yung PBA, B2 yung MPBL.
Sarap nito. Parang ang dating is maraming teams na.
Sarap,
So,
diba?
Hindi na. Maganda to.
Well, kayo mga basketball officials dyan ng PBA at MPBL, narinig nyo naman yung dalawang panelists natin. Baka gusto nyo gawing idea yan na gawing
Bago
B1.
to. Bago
tsaka B2.
Bago to.
Yeah.
Or, gawa tayo ng bagong teams. No, yung mga nababangko natin sa team natin is gumawa tayo ng bagong team. Yun yung gawin nating
Division 2.
ng Division 2 ng PBA.
Yeah.
Para marami pa rin tayong teams.
Tsaka kasi talagang maaangat talaga yung competitiveness
Yes,
dahil sa
totoo.
ganun. Kasi nga, ayaw nila bumaba dun sa bottom 2. Ay, ayaw nila bumaba dun sa Division 2.
Yep.
Alright, mga ka-SPNation, chime in on this basketball fantasy if the MPBL's top 2 teams can indeed beat the PBA's bottom 2 teams. So that's San Juan and Pampanga versus Terra Firma and Phoenix. Alright, let's move on to our very last topic of this episode of SPNation. Is Bronny James NBA ready? So, he in 2 preseason games, he already played pero ang baba na naging numbers niya and he wasn't able to score in his first 2 games.
well, I think, swerte siya tatay niya si Lebron.
Yun nga
Kung hindi kasi niya tatay si Lebron, malamang sa malamang, hindi ganun kadali yung rite of passage na to the NBA. And I was watching the game actually against Phoenix. And sabi ko nga, parang hindi ba awkward to? Parang may mga bad moves din naman si Bronny na parang medyo sama ng diskarte and all that. Parang papagalitan ba siya ni Lebron as the head of the team or as the dad? Di ba? Parang...
Di ba there was an interview.
Hindi papagalitan
Parang pinapalo pa yan sa dugout. Hindi mo alam. Di ba?
And there was an interview na nga na sinasabi niya ni Bronny na I still look at him as my dad. I don't look at him as my teammate. So, paano ba yung naging dynamic siya? Ano ba yung huling father-son tandem na naglaro locally dito?
Marlo!
Hindi, si ano? Sa MPBL. Pero si Big J, tsaka sa Jaworski, naglaro din yan, di ba? Pero, yun nga, something's gotta... Ako, to be honest, obviously, at his own merits, di ba? Kumbaga, hindi pa ready si Bronny, di ba?
To play right now, yeah.
Kung tatay mo ba naman si Lebron, ba't hindi mo pagsamantalahan na nasa NBA ka na, di ba?
Kasi he wanted to get yung, kumbaga ito na yung by the book.
Yeah.
Ito na yung for the books pala, for the book.
Yeah.
Ito, sino pa makakagawa ulit to?
Yes.
And again, like I said, it's not as if Bronny cannot end up in the NBA. He
Yes,
potentially,
he's
but
grabe
masyado lang
potential nito.
napaaga lang.
Napaaga
Dahil
kasi.
hinahabol ni Lebron yung
Baka mas mauna mag-retire si Lebron
diba?
kesa ano. So now that they played together, ito history in the making.
Well, okay, would you say, for both of you, hindi ba mas mataas yung pressure kay Bronny to perform given the situation? That
Hindi.
everybody knows na you got into the NBA because your dad is LeBron and not because of your own merits. And I think that it can break or make a player.
Yeah, definitely.
Pero we all know na ito, capable naman to, pero not right now lang.
Not yet the right time.
Oo, so
Kasi
yun lang.
even yung numbers niya ng college coach
Hindi na naman impressive eh.
Oh,
Diba?
Baka sa ibang team.
Pwede pa.
Baka sa ibang team. Ito na yung sabi natin, sa lower team, pwede ka.
Hindi kasi ang awkward eh. Kunwari, may bad play. Di ba? Kunwari, may bad play, hindi sa kanya pinasok. Ano yung relation? Ano yung dynamics
anong
nun,
ginagawa
diba?
ni anong ginagawa ba ni LeBron sa mga ka-teammates niya? So pinapagalitan or biniblame.
Even
so
yung,
baka ito.
paano ko yung teammates niya? Kaya ba nila pagalitan si Bronny? Pagka
tapos next game tanggal ka na.
Di ba? Hindi nga eh. Di ba? Ang hirap ng ginagawa nila eh.
Anak ka ng tatay mo, hindi ka marunong tumira substitution, di si Bron, ikaw.
Ako nga, mas mahirap na trabaho si Redick eh. As a
sobra.
coach eh.
Actually,
Di ba?
How are you gonna balance it na papasaya mo si LeBron, mapaganda mo yung laro ni Bron. While
While
mga
keeping the rest
kakampi,
of the players.
yung mga kampi
Exactly.
is hindi nagre-react.
Sobrang hindi ko alam I think it was a recipe for disaster. I think it was very self-serving. Yung move na to,
sobra.
I think it was just Lakers giving this to LeBron because LeBron wanted it. But if you try to look at any angle, it doesn't benefit
The Lakers
from a
community.
basketball standpoint, but
Yep.
it benefits the Lakers from a franchise business standpoint.
Yeah.
So,
Pero later on, ito, give Bronny 2-3 years, baka pag wala rin yung tatay niya na
Baka
sinasabihan siya
doon pa
kung
siya
ano yung
mag-shine.
gagawin. Totoo.
Hindi,
Yan
tsaka,
yung feel yan. Automatic
isipin mo,
yan.
di ba, parang madaming players na kunwari tatay nila yung coach. At di ba alin ang lahat, basta papagalingin ko yung anak ko dito sa team na to. Madami nagbe-benefit na bata.
Yes, totoo na
So
anak.
baka
Yeah.
dito sa pag hinawakan ni LeBron yung, kumbaga mas gamay niya yung mga nangyayari sa LA, baka mas mataas pa yung trajectory ni Bronny.
Pag siya na yung nag-coach, nang nakaupo lang siya, nang hindi siya naglalaro.
So do you think pareho naman kayong mga tatay, di ba? Do you think that this is a so-called nepotism hire?
It is. It
Yeah,
is. Well,
sobra.
without
At the
a
start
doubt.
pa lang.
Without
At the
a
start
doubt.
pa lang ito.
And I think they're just chasing after records. History, that's it. 'Di ba? Parang Bronny talaga, you cannot logically justify from a basketball sense kung bakit siya nasa LA at ba't siya kinuha. And again, we're not saying he's not talented. It's just prematurely done. And the premature drafting of Bronny is coming from the fact na potentially mag-retire na si LeBron.
Yeah,
Kaya
so,
pinapag-abot nila.
pinapag-abot lang. So hopefully, makapag-perform na sila. Makapag-perform na pababa yung numbers.
Pero
So
pressure
paward
eh.
na paward.
Sobrang
Alam mo yung pressure,
yan.
lalo na pag sila
Sobrang
dalawang
pressure.
magkasabay.
Sobrang pressure.
Pinipilit na makashoot.
And he got drafted from a recent condition that happened to him. He was hospitalized
Yun
and he had a
pa.
heart condition. So parang talagang rinash masyado. And his numbers in college, in 25 games he played for USC, 4.8 points, but he played 19.3 minutes.
Yeah. And again, ultimately, for me, I think LeBron knows that the NBA equals LeBron at this point.
Yeah,
Right?
so he's using his name right now.
Right now, parang you need me more than I need you. Diba? And so, I've done this for the league. Ginawa ko to para sa liga. Ngayon, do
Bigay niyo
one
naman
for
to sa
me.
atin.
Bigay mo na sa
Bigay
akin.
mo to, ito lang, ito lang.
But it doesn't, ako nga, for me, make it or break it para sa career ni Bronny. Kasi it may end up breaking him because of the pressure. Or maybe they just did this for the sake of history and eventually Bronny will bow out and also, leave and retire early, whatever that is. 'Di ba? Para lang masabi. 'Di ba? But we don't know the long game eh. Pero, 'di ba, ang unfair din kay Bronny na ganito kalaki kaagad yung pressure na nalagay sa kanya. Na hindi pa nga siya fully na-develop sa collegiate level, inakit mo na kagad sa NBA, tapos kailangan mag-perform pa ng LA ngayon, di ba?
Tapos LA pa kagad. No, we all know na ito yung mga top teams na kailangan. So ngayon, yung mga taga-LA ngayon, kung nakikita natin yung post, parang hindi nag-expect ng championship.
Yeah.
So okay lang. So hopefully, they see
Pero kasi,
ito na lang.
we could be playing checkers and they could be playing chess.
Yes.
Yun,
So, baka
They-
pampatagal to, isa rin.
alam nila na, look, it's all about the Benjamins. Diba? It's all about the money. And if they can secure that with this move,
And then later on, hopefully,
diba?
find a win.
It wasn't
Yeah.
always basketball all along. Diba?
And
So,
I believe na si Bronny naman kaya mag-perform nito.
Pero Coach Willie, ikaw, if you had the chance to play with your son, would you take it?
Nako, meron na nagsabi sa akin ito. Nito nakaraan lang. na kunyari, yung anak ko raw, si Dre, maglalaro ng PBA, tapos ako, from retirement, maglalaro ba ako? Ang sabi ko, hindi ako ganong klaseng tao.
Bakit
Hindi ako
naman?
klaseng tao, nababalik para lang makalaro.
Pero ba kayo ni Dre, nakalaro na kayo sa isang tournament na kayo magkasama? Kamusta?
Hindi, mga liga
Oo,
lang.
pero yan, ganyan.
Mga papawis lang. Ganun.
Kamusta yung mga ganyan?
Okay naman. So, kasi that time, I'm teaching him. So, ako, hindi ako to score.
Ako
So,
nagkaroon ako ng
mga bata.
Parang employee na inter-tournament with other organizations. Kasama ko si Coach Joel, naglaro kami. Pare, mahirap na yung tatay mo, teammate mo at coach din. Pinagalitan na, tumira ako ng 3 points. Sabi, tapos ka na. O pwede maglaro ka na ulit sa loob. Hindi ka naman naglalaro sa labas, di ba? Ba't ka, aray, nag-time out para pagalitan ako. Sabi ko, hindi yata
So,
ako
kasi
ito.
iba yung vision. Sa kanya naman, with my time ko sa son ko, is, ang gusto ko is yung reads naman. Proper reads. So, ito, fast break siya, being point 1 and 2. Ito ka, point guard, you set up the team, tira ka, ganito, pasa ka open. Huwag mong bibigyan ng chance na magka-error yung ka-teammate mo. Pag hindi marunong mag-dribble, kailangan pagpasa mo, hindi na magdi-dribble yan. Itira na lang. Pag shooter yan, kailangan catch and shoot yan, yung ganon. So yung read mo, pag open ka, pick and roll, kailangan tumira ka. May show, yung ganon.
Pero yan, tinan mo, yan ang ano mo, di ba? Yan ang naging motivation mo. And would you say malaking bagay yun sa anak mo? Malaking bagay sa development.
Malaking bagay yun kasi merong basketball player mismo na coach na nagtuturo sa kanya ng ways ng basketball, ng proper basketball. And that's one thing also siguro ang gusto ni
Hindi na nga eh.
Bronny.
Papunta ako dun. Sa tingin mo, yun yung ginagawa ni Lebron.
Pero-
para mapabilis din yung galing ni Bronny.
Hindi, kaya mo nang gawin to. Ginawa mo na nga superstar ng isang team yung anak mo eh. So doon na hindi ka kasama, mas maganda yung anak mo, walang pressure. And ikaw, managing lang, hoy, ikaw, big man, wala kang gawin, umiscreen lang dyan. Yung isang liga nila, before Bronny got drafted, di ba? Ikaw, taga-tira ka, ikaw, taga-screen, ikaw, Bronny, lahat ng ikaw lahat ng highlights. Tapos may big man sila, yung 6'10 ba to, yung malaking bata?
Yeah.
Di ba? So yung ganong style, that will help better than maglalaro with
Side
you.
by
Kasi
side.
iba na yung pressure ng bata nito.
Ikaw, Juan, you have an up-and-coming player in Noah as your son. Do you think you would take the chance to play with him?
Okay, not probably. Yeah, I would have loved. Kaya parang tumigil na ako maglaro eh. Pero ngayon parang napapakondisyon na ulit ako. Kasi sabi ko, wait, parang ang sarap nung feeling yata na at least makasama mo yung anak mo sa floor, di ba? And ngayon kasi si Noah, kaya niya na mag-take over. Yung tipong rebound lang ako, oh, ikaw na bahala.
Yeah.
Outlet na. Kaya, parang masarap yung ganong feeling eh. Diba?
Masarap, and
hopefully.
And siguro, yung naramdaman kong feeling, masarap yung, alam mo yung natuturuan mo
Yeah.
ng moves na
Nagagaya.
ikaw, hindi ka pa napapagod.
Agree.
Yung hindi ka huminto, hindi sumasakit yung tuhod mo. Yun. Tapos, mapaniwala mo sila.
Agree.
Yun yung pinakamasarap. Parang, nga, player nga pala dati yung tatay ko, no?
Hindi, MVP lang naman eh.
Just one of the best to ever don a PBA jersey in the Philippines.
Ang pinakamasarap kasi is, lalo na, sa bahay may court kami, may half court kami. So bahay ko, nilagyan ko ng half court para at least bago matulog, pagagising, basketball ka agad.
Masarap.
So meron kami. So kami dalawa, Daddy, one-on-one tayo. Daddy shooting, Daddy, sige, to. Puro proper. Puro proper. Ayoko yung maglalaro ka lang ng puro kalokohan. Sabi ko kasi, maganda yung maglaro ka ng proper. And then after yung practice natin, nakikita pa rin kita na tama pa rin yung ginagawa mo. So you wouldn't throw yung practice mo with doing yung bad habits kagad.
Meron akong tanong sa both of you, and medyo re-reverse ko lang yung role. Pero,
Go lang.
do you think this is a mockery of the NBA? Like, yung ginawa ni Lebron na kunin niya, kasi wala namang magawa yung mga tao.
Yeah.
Tama, they went through the right path. Nagpa-draft and everything, di ba? Pero, is this a mockery of, or is this just a testament talaga of how powerful Lebron is
Yes,
in the
naman.
NBA?
Indeed.
So,
I think power is definitely the right term. It's a power play. Kasi wala namang ibang magagawa yung mga ibang NBA teams because he is still the face of the league whether you like it or not. So habang nandyan siya, wala magagawa yung ibang NBA teams or NBA executives. What he wants to do within his power, he can do.
And lumabas before na magpa-draft si Bronny is pag hindi i-draft ng LA si Bronny,
Umalis
alis si Lebron.
Lilipat siya sa team na magda-draft kay Bronny.
Yes,
Yan.
di ba? So yun yung isang medyo nakapagpa-draft kay Bronny. Pero I think pwede pa rin to si Bronny sa akin. Pwede pa rin to.
Pero hypothetically, if hindi sa LA maging bagay si Bronny,
Saan to? Sa mga young teams,
which
siyempre.
team do you think
Thunder, ako Thunder to
be able to
Hindi,
perform?
ako to be honest, tinitingnan ko si Bronny, yun yung style of play niya. Parang he's your...
based on the skill set.
He doesn't stand out also eh. You get me?
And he's not as tall as LeBron, he's just 6'2".
6'2".
And
So,
pang ano ka lang, pang backup ka.
yan,
Backup
parang
ka.
wala pa siya. Kasi nga, feeling ko nga, medyo premature eh.
Yep.
Yung hindi nahinog sa college, pinitas mo
Tapos hindi ka
kaagad.
pa-
So,
hindi ka
hindi
pa
mo makita
nag-D-League.
eh. Kaya ang hirap sagutin yung tanong mo kasi parang hindi ko pa nakita yung upside, yung
Pinaka-full
ito
potential.
talaga,
Yes.
oo, eh.
Uy, ito to Tumo 20 points tapos parang regular,
Hindi pa
consistent
Hindi pa lumalabas yung laro niya.
Hindi pa.
Hindi pa
Pero
lumalabas
I know,
yung laro.
lalabas to. Ngayon, wala ka ng chance kundi palabasin yung laro mo sa NBA game.
Alright,
Diba?
guys, so that's been it. Let's just recap our topics for this episode. Our first topic was, is Converge a team of the future in the PBA? And Coach Willie...
Yes, ang
what-
sagot natin.
Yes, they agreed to that. Next topic, their second topic was, can the bottom two teams of the PBA actually compete with, or can the top two MPBL teams compete with the bottom two teams in the PBA? And there were some answers that said, kung PBA rules ang gagamitin, hindi. Kung MPBL rules, baka kaya. And the last topic was, is Bronny James ready for the NBA? There were mixed answers. Bakit sa ibang team pwede? Kayo mga ka-Sports Plus, anong tingin nyo dun sa mga topics na pinag-usapan namin dito? We'd love to hear your comments, and we're gonna read a few of them right now before we end this episode. Let's go down to our comment section and check out kung ano yung mga opinions ng mga viewers natin for this episode of SPNation. Alright, from Danny Okdao, good evening mga idol, watching from Kilablab, Mahayahay, Mantikaw, Misamis Oriental, Mindanao. Good evening,
Hello.
Good evening, idol.
Danny.
Alright, may sinabi ba siya iba?
Oh, flowers, roses.
Okay, Angelo Bagsino said, sa training skills at talents, PBA ako dyan. Okay, so that was our MPBL versus PBA topic. Next up, CJ Reponte says, mapapantayan kaya ni Balti si Junmar pagdating sa performance stats sa PBA, ano po tingin nyo?
Wala nga makapantay kay Junmar kasi Balti pa kaya.
Si Balti, I think Balti is a 4, natural 4.
Yeah.
So,
Stretch
hindi
four
to-
siya, no?
Stretch 4 to, so that can play inside out. Pero, hindi siya as dominant, let me say, dominant as Junmar when it comes to the post.
Can I ask, do you think the way Rainiel Hugnatan plays, and I kind of see potentially the way...
Na mas, kasi built si Balti to score also.
Yeah.
Si Rainiel, hindi. Defender si Rainiel. So 6 months si Rainiel parate.
yeah.
So from MBA to PBA, yun ang role ni...
Sinong kaparehas ng laro ni Balti pag pumasok siya sa PBA? Meron ba kayong ano? Kasi yun yung inaabangan ng mga tao eh, di ba? Parang
Sinong
parang,
4, no? Oo nga, no?
Stretch 4 na pwede maglaro ng
tas ano eh, mahaba, athletic, di ba?
And he also has an
Utility,
outside
yeah.
shot now. He's developing an outside shot. May may handles na rin siya ng konti. And of course, the athleticism is there. But, you know, Balti's legit 6'7", 6'8". 2 inches shorter lang siya than Junmar. So, tingin nyo wala talagang possibility na... Obviously, yung 8-time MVP, parang mahirap talaga tapatan yan. Pero, to be at least a little close to what Junmar achieved.
Nako.
Ako malayo.
Wala pa.
Malayo.
Di mahirap pa sabihin at this point.
Wala pa. Pero, we all know yung potential ni Balti
Yeah.
as a superstar is nandiyan dyan.
Do you think he's overstaying in the MPBL?
For me, I think
May isang hinanap rin namin siya. Hinanap na, pero kasi may usapan naman talaga na
Pero
December.
agree. Pero di ba kasi yung merong iba yung nasobrahan naman sa pagkahinog
Tama.
na hindi na okay yung timing.
Tama.
Yes, yung timing wala
Diba?
pa
So yung
pa
parang
kaya.
yung oras na dapat tumalon si Balti, parang si tingin mo, yun yung feeling ko, parang masyadong kunwari, yung saging o mangga, di ba, na iniiwan mo na overripe eh. Di ba sa MPBL, na matagal ka na dapat, paminsan napapasama pa yun eh. So,
Ang tingin ko kasi, he's still gonna adjust. Ang sinabi ko rin, sa lahat ng kinakausap ko, hindi right away si Balti is making superstar kagad. So he's still gonna adjust dun sa style of play ng PBA. Eh malaki yung diferensya ng style ng PBA sa
Agree.
MPBL.
Well, Balti right now is around 27 years old, and nagstay lang naman siya sa MPBL dahil gusto ng Pampanga to create history in the MPBL, to win back-to-back championships, because no team in the MPBL has won back-to-back championships yet. So I don't know, you guys should also comment on that. Do we have more comments? Alright, Power Max says, di man nanalo MPBL, pangarap ng players dyan makalaro sa PBA. Karamihan natapon from PBA dyan. John Star, ganun kalayo. Kit Jimenez star ng MPBL, nabubutas lang ng bako. Oo nga, di ko alam kung ano yung ibig sabihin.
Hindi, pero yun na naman, totoo naman. Sinabi naman natin, pero like what we said, di ba? Yung upper and lower tier ng mga players, yung mga pa-exit na nasa MPBL, yung mga papasok nasa MPBL din. Yung cream of the crop, yung peak talaga nasa PBA, di ba? So, kasi nga, ako nga, sinabi mo nga kanina, Abby, na ilan ang 6'7" na player sa Pampanga na athletic, mahaba, na hindi man lang kilala pa ng mga tao, di ba? Na pwedeng ma-develop. So, probably, if you give them the right coach, potentially,
Right timing din
pwedeng
to.
lumaban.
Lebron, Bronny James, timing din to.
Timing.
Timing lang rin ang kailangan natin para magana.
Okay, tsaka I think it's beneficial rin for Philippine basketball na marami ng opportunities para sa mga players ngayon. Kasi dati, sa PBA ka lang talaga pupunta pagkatapos mo ng college. But right now, you have the MPBL para magpahinog to get to the PBA. So, it's really nice na maging player ngayon actually. Ang sarap maging player
Sarap,
ngayon.
ang daming chances.
Alright, we have one last comment from Champion Online Shop. Sana nag-PBA na lang muna yung si Bronny. Kaso kakayanin niya si RHJ and Brownlee. Sobrang bata talaga, 20 years old. For him to play in the PBA, do you think he would make a difference here?
No, like I said, it's such a hard question to answer kasi hindi ko pa nakita na parang hindi mo pa nakita yung Bronny na parang, yan ang Bronny, di ba? Tapos, pwede yan dito. Kaya niya to. Parang hindi pa nga siya nakaka-come out of his shell. Pinitas mo ka agad.
Hindi pa nagbo-bloom eh.
He hasn't even shined in college yet. Tapos biglang papaputahin mo ng NBA. Biglang dami ng pressure because you're the son of LeBron. And now, you have to really try and perform to prove to the other people that you are indeed NBA ready.
Ano kayang team pwede si Bronny dito sa PBA?
Sa inyo ba, coach? Kukunin niyo ba yan?
Ang mahal eh! Malamang mahal yan!
Pero 6'2" di ba? Kung kukuha ka na lang ng import, medyo matangkad-tangkad na naman.
Especially na unlimited height na yung
Tsaka may
maging
specialization,
import.
di ba?
At saka
Scorer.
imagine mo, kailangan niya bandayan si Shawnee Winston at saka si Alex Stockton. So malamang pareho silang height, kakainin ni...
Yun na nga, coach. Baka mapahiya pa siya dito kung dito pa siya mapunta.
Kasi
hindi niya nga madidepensahan yung mga Brownlee tsaka...
lalo na yung Brownlee naman, grabe. And sinasabi ko to pati sa mga imports naman, is kaya umaangal yung mga imports hindi nagbo-bloom sa PBA kasi iba yung style. Hindi sa PBA pagalingan lang. Ang laro ng Pilipino is pautakan.
Pautakan, tama.
So pag hindi ka makuha sa santong dasalan, di ba? Yun na yun. Aasarin ka na. So mental na yung laro natin. Yun naman yung larong Pilipino. So yun yung medyo akala nila magaling na ako dito sa US. Pagdating dito,
Ng culture shock no?
Uwi na ako. Bakit? Ang ano ba natin, homesick. Na-homesick ako.
At saka aside from the mental coach, yung pisikalan, yun talaga sila nagulat.
Doon nga nagkakaroon ng mental yung toughness mentally is wala doon.
Yes.
Kasi sa US, gaganong-ganong ka, makakatira ka, tapos bubungangaan mo yung tinirahan mo. Dito, pag binungangaan mo, pagbalik, malamang may siko ka. Isa pang bunga
At saka
mo.
kailangan mo tanggapin kasi hindi nahuli na referee. Malinis eh.
Mayabang ref eh. Pagpasensya mo na, i-welcome ko lang. Di ba? Yung kung kaya mo i-take yun, yung mga katulad nila Jeffrey Carriazo, yung mga bumabalagabag, tatayo, tapos walang pakialam. Sige, Pilipino ako eh. Film ako.
Pero kasi
I'm right for
isipin
this.
mo, hindi ka pa tumatawid sa kalaban mo yung ibang PBA teams na walang pakialam sa'yo at titirahin ka.
Sa kakampi mo muna.
Sa ensayo pa lang
kakampi mo muna.
Sa ensayo pa lang, tapos na usapan eh.
Ganon ang inaano namin. May kakampi kami na mayabang. Lahat malamang may masahe sa amin. Idaan mo sa akin, mamasahin natin yan. Yung ganon. Kasi kailangan, you have to be able to prove to your teammates na, uy, I belong. Kahit tirahin mo ako, lalaban ako. Hindi ako aaray. Hindi ko kayo iiwan.
That's the Philippine brand basketball.
Yes naman.
Alright guys, thank you so much for joining us. That's it for this edition of SPNation. For Juan Banal and Coach Willie, the Thriller Miller, this has been Javi Palanya. Have a great rest of your Wednesday night. Good night.
Yes, sir.
I didn't know anything about the Philippines. We were staying at the Ateneo dorm for a while, just me and my brother. Didn't know where to go, where to get food.